Here we go. Let's go like this. I want to bring this up so we can kind of see on the big screen if anything happens.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sweet.
Welcome again, Mel.
Shop talk number 2.
Sweet. Shop talk number 2. Let's turn this down.
Oops. Shop talk number 2.
What are you done? Definitely not lag. Well, yeah. I mean, let's talk about you for a minute.
Let's talk. All right.
Start off with that. So when we first met, you were going to competitions, and before that, the guys around here was like, "Oh, Mel, he's going to competitions. He's doing this. He's doing that." And I remember you were going down to California for a big competition.
Mm-hmm.
Would you explain that and what your goal with that was?
Well, if I'm being honest, as a teenager, the dream was, professional BMX rider, ride bikes, make money. That's the dream, right? You ride bikes, make money. And so I was fully committed to that. I made a few edits for Magneto BMX with Luke and Rob. I was always trying to grow my Instagram. I remember sitting there in high school, instead of paying attention to my teacher talking, I'd just be following hundreds and hundreds of people on Instagram. Everybody that liked this most recent RBMX post, I'd follow every single one of them, and I'd get 20 followers back from it. I'd follow so many people that Instagram says you can't follow any more people. Because that's when you have a small Instagram, that's how you get people to follow you back. You just follow a million guys, and you get a certain amount of followers back for that. And then,
did you ever unfollow those people? So
like
this giant
following
account.
I'd go through and if they, I've spent hours just going through unfollowing people. At one point I was probably following 3,000-4,000 people. Right now I probably follow 500 maybe. But that was if you're trying to start an Instagram, that's the best way to get people to follow you is you just follow a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm trying to grow my Instagram because I knew that if I had a big enough Instagram, that Instagram itself would pay me just to upload. I knew this guy, the first time I went to Woodward West to coach at Woodward West, this guy, Andrew Stickler, he had an Instagram of maybe 20,000 followers, and he would make $15-$20 a month just posting content. And Instagram would just directly pay him for however many views he got on this stuff he'd post. And
I need to figure out how to do that.
I need 20,000 followers to get started.
Is that what it is? Is that break?
There's some threshold. It's some view count. I don't know. I do have a moderators, not a moderators. Whatever I made my Instagram account a commercial Instagram account, and so I get access to however many likes I get on my post, views I get, how many is my target audience, men, women, children, and all that stuff. But that's besides the point. So I'm trying to grow my Instagram because I knew that I had to grow an Instagram to try and, if I'm trying to make money riding bikes, I have to grow an Instagram. I'm going to these competitions because I think that, if I became the USA BMX freestyle champion of 2024, 2023 or whatever, that'd get my name out there. That'd get my name to these bigger companies that I had no idea. I didn't know anybody in. And then, just going to these competitions, for me to drive myself 1,200 miles to try and go to a competition, that's huge. That cost me $1,500. I'd save up for a few weeks or a few months and then blow all of my money on a road trip to go to this competition. And then, it was, I think 2023, I was doing all these competitions. I was trying to go to every single USA BMX freestyle competition. Let me step back to 2022. I went to one competition in Tucson, Arizona. And And then I was getting ready to go to another competition. Maybe it was in Salt Lake City, I think. Ended up breaking my ankle on a trampoline bike. Broke my ankle. I was out all summer. Got 2 surgeries for that. That's all squared away now. And then the next year, 2023, I go to San Diego for the first USA BMX freestyle competition. And I'm doing this all by myself. Me personally, I don't have maybe the greatest communication skills. I'm not great at reaching out to people to try and couch surf or anything. I'm just sleeping in the back of my truck because that's, what else am I going to do? I'm sleeping back in my truck. I'm going to get out there. Maybe I'll meet some people. Maybe I won't. And so I go to the first competition. I get 3rd in this competition. I get, I don't remember what the name of the award was, but they gave me $200 because I drove myself 1,200 miles to San Diego, living in the back of my truck. And then the second competition for USA BMX Freestyle, Salt Lake City at the Vans skate park there. I show up like 3 or 4 days before the competition because I wanted to really get a good grasp on the skate park. So I'm going for gold. It's my first time riding this place. I'm like, I'm going to go do a backflip fly out. Over rotate, basically do half of a flare, shoulder check myself, break my collarbone. That put me out for, a few weeks. And then at this point, I'm getting ready to move into a house with Luke, James, Sarah, and me. We're all in a few weeks getting ready to move into a house, and I just broke my collarbone. I don't have any money. And so now I'm door dashing with a broken collarbone, trying to get money. After like 6 weeks of having a broken collarbone, get a job framing so I can, make money to move into this house with the homies. And then after that, it's like, if I want to continue to pay rent, I'm not going to be able to ride my bike like this. I can't pay to go to these competitions. And so that, kind of reality setting in on me, like, okay, what does it take to actually become a professional BMX rider? I'm going to have to live in my parents' basement for 5-6 more years until something actually picks up. And it's like, I'm not interested in that. And simultaneously, I'm also, I've been a carpenter for a little over a year at this point. And, the dreams of being a carpenter, I also love being a carpenter. I like making projects and I like making things with my hands. When I had my broken collarbone, I made a couple of tables. I made a nightstand. I made a TV display center. And a couple of really nice cutting boards. And so I was falling in love with being a carpenter. And then, also the thoughts of building ramps was kind of, I've always wanted to build ramps. That seems like the most badass thing you could possibly do is, take a bunch of wood, make a ramp, and then now you have a ramp that you can do backflips on, you can do 360s on, you can do crazy stunts on. Stuff that, people can learn how to do crazy stuff on. Building ramps then became like I'm framing to learn how to be a ramp builder. Yeah. And so I fully 100% sent all of my energy into framing. I think it's kind of funny because I work with a bunch of guys that they're just framing. They just do this to make money. They don't really like their jobs. And then I show up and I have all the energy in the world. I'm like, trying to learn new things. I have all this, I'm stoked to be framing, and these guys are like just showing up to work and they don't even want to be here, but I really want to be here. And I think I gave off some really weird energy to these guys that didn't like their job. And so at this framing company, there's this guy, Al, that he came up to me and directly told me he's going to bully me until I quit. And so that's basically what happened. He just come up to me, grab my hammer out of my tool bag, throw it. And so, on top of that, there's a few other guys that really just did not like me. They'd stay away from me. And so I quit my job framing, got a job installing floors. At this point, BMX isn't even like the main thing in my head. I'm just focused on, trying to make ends meet, trying to make money. And wintertime as a carpenter, this is my 3rd time around. Work slows down so much. I need money, and my boss just told me no work this week. Sorry, but what are you gonna do? And so, now I got all these things as a carpenter in the back of my head, and I just don't have the mental energy to be, trying to ride.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why I kind of wanted to talk about this was, I think young kids, young riders have kind of an skewed way of thinking when it comes to becoming pro.
Yeah.
Like most of these dudes that they see on Instagram and on YouTube and in these videos, they do some sick shit, but they probably live with a whole lot more struggle than those kids ever can imagine.
No, and the people that are out there working hard and they are out there trying to get sponsored, that I really respect that hustle because it's not easy. Mm-hmm. If you're working 45, 50 hours some weeks and you're still getting out there going to the skate park trying to get clips, I've been there. I've tried to do that when I was, let's fast track to last summer. I'm working 35, 45 hours a week. At one point I was like, you know what, I'm going to try and post every single day. Doesn't mean I have to be riding every day. Just means that I have to have enough clips stockpiled to where I post every single day. And then about 2 or 3 weeks into this, maybe 20 days or so, I got sick. And I just like the common cold or something. But, now I'm trying to do 360 tail whips over the spine and I feel like shit. And I have to show up to work tomorrow. Like that's just way too much to put on you. And, and then there's also
there's like a level of feeling of guilt that you're not out there riding. You're not going out there
it's like
with everyone at the same time.
Yeah. And then there's another part of me that I should just be, humble. I don't need to be the greatest at everything I do in the world. I should be humble, and it's okay just to be a carpenter. It's okay just to be normal. Mm-hmm. I've always had this drive to be better than everyone else, to be, famous, I guess, this social media icon. But it's not, what does that get you? You're still going to be living your life. You're still going to be making memories with the people you love. And so I think instead of me focusing on myself, trying to be a pro BMX rider, I want to be focusing more on, my brothers, my family, my friends. And if that means riding my bike less so that I can hang out with the homies more, because it was getting to the point where it's like, they don't want to ride. My friends don't want to ride. Matthew wants to hang out with me tomorrow, but I'm not going to hang out with Matthew. I'm going to go ride bikes so that I can get some clips out there, and I think it's important that I create good relationships with my friends and family.
Well, I mean, then you start riding not for yourself, but for an imaginary crowd out there in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're not doing it for yourself, then it's not fun.
Yeah. And so I think that's really where I started to slow down on riding, is I felt that I was almost being selfish to a lot of the people around me, where they'd want to hang out, and instead of me hanging out with them, I'd just go ride bikes because I have to be putting out, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And if you're on a path to become something in the world as a rider, that's what you have to do.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. You have to
ignore everything around you and just do that.
Yeah, no, and I've seen, like with my brother Harrison, he started a landscaping company, and I see this with a lot of people that start small companies when they're really young. They work 60 hours a week, and because they work 60 hours a week, they don't have time to take care of themselves. Mm-hmm. And so, my mom, my dad, they're having to help take care of my brother because he's working so much. He's having overflow he'll over push himself. And then now he has to get me or my brother to help him finish these jobs that he overbooked to him. Yeah. Because starting a company is really hard, and trying to be a pro BMX rider, that's a lot like starting a company. Mm-hmm. It's your full life. It's your whole life. And, when you stretch yourself that thin, it affects the people around you. I guess another thing is I left Instagram because Instagram, it was really pressuring me to continue to push myself that direction. I didn't think I was maybe not becoming a good person trying to push myself that direction. It was maybe not like a bad person, but not who I wanted to be.
Yeah. No, you definitely pulled back on Instagram a lot.
No, I deleted it. I didn't look at it for months.
Well, and
Yeah.
it showed like I mean, and,
Yeah.
and that's a huge way that we all communicate in the group chat with all the local writers out here.
Mhm.
So, and then having the business for myself, I can't
Yeah.
just toss it up.
No, and I mean, I felt bad because I was showing up here all the time. I was building ramps over here. I was trying to do Sunday sessions out here, and I was just stretching myself too thin.
Yeah.
Then I feel guilty for building all these ramps and then just disappearing.
That's a weird thing to be guilty. Oh, I built all these ramps and then
I know I shouldn't, but I do.
But see, that's one thing I know firsthand. Like, I don't ever put that on somebody, because life happens. I feel guilty for a lot of shit. Like, I've been working on that project, that remodel project, and I haven't been working on the edit that I promised everyone. And so I feel bad about that. Like, I feel bad that I don't have time to even go ride these beautiful ramps that are sitting out here.
Yeah. But I mean, that's life. Eventually that it will get done. Eventually people will be riding these ramps.
Yep.
But it's just slow going.
And then it's also wintertime too. Like right now there's snow on all these ramps.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's gonna come out here and kill themselves on snow wet ramps. Like, nobody's gonna do it. And so it's like I have to accept that. Yeah. But I know come springtime when it's beautiful, sunny, like, people are going to be out here. It's not a doubt in my mind that that's not going to happen.
No, I think if we could, I was saying it on the last episode, but Sunday sessions, I think we need to get.
I mean, even if we have like 2 a month, like, I'm going to pull the barbecue out. I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to pull the cameras out.
I think as long as we have a solid enough crew that does show up regularly enough, we could have a few guys that kind of manage the airbag, because it is a high maintenance airbag.
It is, yeah.
There needs to be somebody basically watching it all the time, making sure that it has the right amount of air in it when you're riding it.
Yeah.
And so
poor Levi found that out the hard way.
Did he hit it with too much air in it?
Yeah, he bounced off, and that's like he ended up going to the hospital.
Oh, did he go to the hospital for that? Yeah.
He was laid up for quite a while.
Yeah, no, you gotta.
So it's.
Yeah, no, I've done that, but I've done that on grass, so that's different than concrete. But yeah, you got to be, it's high maintenance. You got to be watching it. You can't be riding it alone. No. It takes 2 or 3 people to actually get a session on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't ever feel bad that you're not being a part of. Like, I have your number. I can call you.
Yeah, you can call me if you need me. I'm not gonna.
I don't call you.
Yeah.
I've called you and your brother and a bunch of other people. Just be like, hey, I haven't fucking heard from you guys in a minute. I haven't talked to you.
Have you messaged Zeke?
One of the last times I talked to you without anything. But it's been probably about 2 months.
Yeah.
Just because I know Zeke's path right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel very special to that. Like.
Yeah.
Like today, I'm celebrating 16 years today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Harrison. Yeah, Zeke's the one that came out and helped me build a ramp. Yeah. Harrison's the landscaper.
No, I'm talking about Zeke.
Are you talking about Zeke?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was trying to stop smoking, I think, when he was helping me build the ramp.
Oh. Well, yeah.
Whatever. I don't remember exactly or what. Both of my brothers have had a lot of struggles with drug abuse.
Yeah. So,
that stuff's gnarly.
Mm-hmm.
If you can stay away from it, do that. I don't know firsthand because I haven't explored like that, but it's not something to fuck around with.
No.
Well,
that's why I reached out to him, just checking up, seeing how he's doing.
Yeah.
Because I know firsthand with that. So, like, trying to stay sober and get sober, it's not easy.
No, it's not easy. Yeah.
Well, what else? I don't know. How do you feel about companies versus writers? Like the importance of one versus the other. Are they equally important? Because I mean, to me, it's really a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
As a shop owner, I cannot move product without both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because kids see the writers and they see the parts that they're on them. They want to have those parts. They want to emulate those parts. They want to have that as they see their favorite writer writing. Yeah,
I think that there is. It comes down to the point of what is the writer providing for the company. If obviously the writer has to be an advertisement basically to bring customers to the company that is going to be selling the bike frames or whatever. And how exactly does a rider do that? He shows up to the skate park, he's riding, he's always repping, volume frames or whatever. If someone asks that they might be buying a bike, you'll direct them to the bike shop that you're associated with. It's you could probably explain better. How exactly does a rider advertise himself for a company? What can a rider do to?
I feel it's changed a lot in the last 20 years. With social media being so prevalent, there's dudes out there doing gnarly stuff on Instagram where 20 years ago that would have been a DVD kind of like trick. That would have been a trick in a magazine, and those things are not around anymore. So to create edits, and that was like a way a company could make a little bit of money, at least cover the cost of going on a trip and putting these riders up and putting these riders out, was selling DVDs. An amazing edit, and now everything just goes on YouTube. Rarely do you find somebody wanting or being capable of charging a few dollars to watch their edit.
Yeah, Fast and Loose. They'll they'll put their DVDs out so you can buy their DVDs, and then 2 weeks later they'll upload it on YouTube. So if you actually want to watch it ASAP, you got to buy the DVD, and the DVD's $5-10.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much money Fast and Loose is really making. It's
there's not much money in BMX.
Yeah, there's not much money.
We all do this out of passion.
Yeah.
First, I don't make much of a living running my shop. My money comes from powder coating. That's really where I get to feed myself. I have this shop as my passion because this is what I love. But especially out here, it's just the market's smaller than what it was in Portland. And it took me 3 years in Portland to get onto the cusp of making money from my shop to where I could actually pull money out and have a living. And I'm definitely far from that. We just did our taxes, and so I have all these numbers in my head directly. I put about $20,000 in my pocket over this last year, and that's working 7 days a week,
nonstop. Yeah,
just continuously,
all night, some nights.
Yeah. So, if I was working for a company making an hourly wage, I'd be bringing in $200,000 a year. I'd be bringing in 10 times as much money as I ever.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah.
No, and BMX really is a side hustle right now for it because it doesn't pay the bills. And that makes it's BMX it's a passion project, like you're saying.
And it sucks that it's collapsing in on itself. But hopefully it will rise up and be something greater than it was. Politically right now, there's a lot of stuff going on and a lot of talks with tariffs and everything. And I saw the last time Trump was president, that there was the price to manufacture something in the U.S. versus Taiwan was about evening out. So I saw a lot more smaller brands and people going, well, I can make this part here in the U.S. for just as much as I'm having to send it over to Taiwan for after taxes and tariffs and import fees and all of that. And so I felt like it was about to change. I was even contemplating on buying a 4-axis CNC machine and start building parts, making parts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and setting up this shop as a manufacturer. Because with the 4-axis CNC machine, you can do hub bodies, you can do stems, you can do aluminum parts, right? And so that's where I was planning on going with it and turning that and selling my services to companies to be able to do that.
Okay.
Not necessarily start my own business, but sell my services to other
you're
companies.
manufacturing for volume or whatever company.
and then that all changed. And yeah, so
I mean, you're powder coating for volume.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you still are doing that, just painting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But as that goes, so law has to bring in stuff from Taiwan, and that costs a certain amount of money. So he has like this much money he spent per frame to bring in, and so then there's a small markup to go to shops, and then the shops have another small markup to sell to the people.
Mm-hmm.
So in turn, when he sends it to me, he makes just enough money to cover what he brings it in for.
Yes.
Some of these frames that I'm doing, I don't make my base money if I were to charge a customer for it.
Mm-hmm.
Law's also giving me a whole lot more to do than just a customer bringing in one frame. I'm doing multiple frames and stuff like that, and
mm-hmm.
also pushes me out as a recognition that I'm able to do quality work. That
mm-hmm.
company wants to put my stuff out there in the world like that.
Is that making you any good money?
It makes me money.
It makes you money.
Yeah. I mean, it's passion.
Yeah.
I do it for law because law is my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I've been dealing with 180 and them for almost 15 years. So
mm-hmm.
like I've gained a relationship with those guys. So I'm doing it as a friend and not as like, oh, I'm going to freaking take you to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it helps them move frames. It helps me do cool and interesting shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise I'd be just sitting here wishing I could do cool and interesting shit. And what? Nobody puts it out.
Yeah. No, and I mean doing cool and interesting shit. That's important. That's important to me.
Mm-hmm.
Gives you a little bit more of a legacy.
Yeah.
A little bit more meaning.
Mm-hmm.
What influence do you think scooters and Surons have had on the popularity of BMX? Do you think that maybe scooters and Surons, and I feel like those are like maybe detracting attention away from BMX? 20 years ago, there weren't really scooters. And so BMX had a lot more headlights. There's a lot more headlights on BMX because scooters didn't really exist.
Well,
you think that detracts from BMX? No.
I think it did when they first came out because there was the Razor scooters, the Walmart scooters, that type of stuff hitting the skate parks with 8, 9, 10-year-old kids with their parents that
mm-hmm.
didn't know park etiquette. So skaters and BMXers that have already been at parks for a long time are pissed off now at these scooters
mm-hmm.
coming invading, but they're small children not understanding park etiquette. Those riders that started at 8, 9 years old are now 15, 16, 20-year-olds spending that much time in the park, and now they're starting to understand park etiquette.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're taking their sport and doing crazy shit and cool shit. And firsthand, like it's easy to transfer from a scooter to a bike.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
like I see a lot of scooter kids kind of stick together. We see a lot of skater kids stick together. I see a lot of BMXers skate together. But I also see a lot of intermingling. There's not that hardcore divide.
Mm-hmm.
An old man yelling at his yard, get off my lawn type of
attitude. Oh yeah,
no. So there is a lot of crossover now. So
yeah.
I think that's what's happening in the world because
mm-hmm.
riders want to ride and do cool shit.
No, that's something I see that's awesome. Is I see mountain bikers getting BMXs and chilling up to the skate park, having never ridden a BMX, and then 2 weeks later they're shredding it because they've transferred their mountain bike skills over to a BMX. And same thing with scooter kids. They get on a BMX for the first time and instantly they're shredders because they have the muscle memory of how to ride a two-wheeled vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I also see a lot of kids that have scootered. They've always scootered and they're not interested in riding bikes, and they don't hate BMX. They just, they scooter. They don't BMX.
Yeah. Whatever. I mean,
That's,
who knows?
yeah.
That kid might not have ever gotten on anything to even go to the skate park. That kid, if scooters weren't around, might have sat there online and
Yeah, so you don't really see scooters as maybe a competition for selling BMX?
No.
Mm.
Because
Have you put any thought into getting surrounds in the shop? I know you're saying something about that last year.
Yeah, we did get one in. We got one of the Throne Serpents.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fucking fun.
Do you have it?
Yeah, it's in
Oh shit.
Yeah, I forgot you haven't been out here for a while.
No.
Yeah, when we get done with this, I'll let you hop on it.
All right, you're getting me excited.
Yeah. I did 52 miles an hour down Lone Star on it.
Yeah.
And it still had more to go. I wasn't wearing a helmet, and it scared me, so I backed off.
Yeah.
But I think that thing would have done 58, 60 miles
What
an hour.
exactly is it?
A Throne Serpent.
Throne Serpent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I see those. Those are becoming hugely popular.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious if you got those in stock, if they would sell.
I guess I brought one in as a demo. I mean, like I still have it. I'll let people demo, and I can get them in.
Mm-hmm.
But the upfront investment to have them here in the shop.
Oh yeah, they're like $4,000 each, aren't they?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the retail on the one I got is $4,400.
Yeah.
They're coming out with a even more powerful model and a lesser powerful model.
Mm-hmm.
My rep was telling me. So there's going to be price differences there.
Yeah.
So the higher model I think is going to push like $6,000,
Mm-hmm.
but it'll do like 70 miles an hour. Like it's
built,
and then the smaller one will do a little bit less and it'll cost a little bit less.
That got me interested. What would you think about a BMX Sur-Ron style hybrid, where it's a BMX but with
well, did somebody come out with something like that?
I'm not sure. Has someone?
I thought so.
I think Hyper has. Yeah. I thought that maybe it's just pedal assist, but maybe it does have some. Yeah, I saw it in a magazine. There's a electric Hyper BMX.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not to do something.
I don't know. I don't think they belong in the skate park or anything. Like that.
No, nothing like that.
Yeah.
That's a goofy
or even a dirt park like just
it tears up the when you throttle off the takeoff, it tears up the takeoff.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, because there's dirt bike trails and dirt bike parks you can go to and bring those on. I think that's where those belong.
Yeah.
Not into the world of skate parks and BMX parks and shit like that.
I'm curious if these electric dirt bikes are taken away from regular dirt bike sales. I feel like for a younger audience, an electric dirt bike is more appealing than a gas dirt bike, because it, if something breaks, it's just plug and play. It's electric. Mm-hmm. But if you got to tear apart your top end on a 4-stroke, you can't do that unless you know what you're doing.
I think it depends on if the father is into motocross like that versus not being into motocross.
Yeah, like that is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if a father is into motocross and they have a couple bikes and he can pull a motor on his workbench and tear it apart, rebuild it, I think the kid's going to lean more towards the gas, but also probably have an e-bike like that in the lineup just for fun. Yeah, because I didn't think it was going to be as fun as it is.
It's an electric dirt bike.
It really is a lot of fun.
I'm guessing the one you have probably has almost as much power as a 125. Maybe more power. I don't know.
I mean, it's instant torque.
Yeah, the torque on those things is crazy. Yeah, there's no shifting gears. It just always has that torque. Yeah. And
it's cool. It has a reverse gear.
It has a reverse gear.
Yeah, so you don't have to like.
That's epic.
I mean, they could do that because it's an electric motor. They just reverse the polarity and it goes the opposite way.
Yeah. How many amp hours does the battery have? Like a 40 amp hour?
I don't know. I have brochures up there. On the
all right.
So you can take a look at it. It'll break everything down. What time are we at? Does it say? Doesn't say, does it?
No, it doesn't say up there.
308. We can go for about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I mean, what are your plans with the ramps out here? You kind of talked about it last time, but
yeah. I mean, I still want to build that third section that we had talked about.
mhm.
Obviously, we're not going towards the fence. We're going to bring it out this way.
Yeah,
Just because I got to be careful with the wife space also,
hmm
with the chickens and the bees and all that stuff
Yeah.
that we got going on with that. So
I think what would be sick is if we put like a 3-foot quarter pipe and then an A-frame, and then we might even be able to push all the ramps that are out there further towards the chicken coop to, still have space for parking. But if we had a jibby 3-foot quarter pipe, that'd be sick. And if we had an A-frame, we could do kind of down rail kind of stuff.
well, yeah, that plan of doing like a quarter on one side with out ledges and like a good sized deck. So I mean, you're probably gonna want like 10 feet of decking, or something like that.
Yep.
So I mean, what you're looking at, 13 feet wide. I think there's enough room there, and keep the parking.
Yep, and we could obviously the spine ramp could get slid way closer to the quarter pipe.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that would be sick.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's also like the ramps aren't going anywhere, so we'll have good times with that. We can definitely have things. But I'm also looking at getting a new place closer to Rhodes, downtown place.
Yep.
So don't know how that's going to look. Been looking at a few spots, and then we talked about creating an indoor park down there. Yeah, I was thinking about that, like 3 to 5 dudes all putting in about $100,000. That's 300 to $500,000. Because you got to worry about insurance. You got to worry about the rent of the building for at least 6 months before you can bring a customer in. You got to be able to float everything for like that. You got to, because it's going to take time to build it out.
Yeah.
And then with that kind of investment, depending on how many guys, how many people invest that kind of money, like they all have to kind of like work at it, right? Like I'm not looking for someone who's going to be a silent partner and just kind of sit back and collect everything. It's like, okay, like we all have to have our day jobs.
Yeah.
And then we all have to put a day or so into working at the skate park.
Yeah.
And then making it work. And then having everyone on the same page, knowing where the money's at, knowing what's coming in, knowing what's going out. I think it could actually work.
Yeah. I think so. And if we had a clientele of people willing to invest like $100 a month to help, as like a membership fee.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like the space I was telling you about was just like 5,500 square feet.
Yeah.
Pretty high ceilings, like a story and a half. So they were like 14, 16-foot high ceilings, warehouse space, with like a shop in front. Obviously, I would have the bike shop in front, and then the skate park in the back, and having that run so we could be open 7 days a week. That wouldn't be an issue. But just to cover rent, to break it down, 150 riders of monthly subscription. That subscription would be at $50 a month. That would just cover every month's rent. So you would also have to have, birthday parties, private lessons, group lessons, stuff like that go down, and then it could work like with a bike shop there, a skate shop there, a scooter shop there, bringing in revenue, birthday parties and events bringing in revenue, just the daily admissions to the park bringing in revenue, and monthly memberships. Like it really work. Like there could be like, I think within a 3-year period, after paying off initial investment and keeping the doors open, you'd be making profit.
Yeah. Yeah. How close is that warehouse to Rhodes?
I think it was like 4 blocks.
4 blocks? Yeah.
So it'd be really close.
Not to mention, if there's a millionaire out there, the warehouse directly next to Rhodes, that's up for sale, right?
That's up for sale. I mean, as far as
$2 million, but
as far as I know, the tenants aren't going anywhere, but the warehouse was up for sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a dream to have a massive 10,000 square foot indoor skate park pressed up against Rhodes.
Yeah, that would be
it'd be paradise.
Because when it's 100+ degrees, like it's just miserable.
Go sweat your balls out of roads. Be like, damn, it's hot. Go get some AC. Ride a foam pit.
Or when it's 20 degrees, I was like, it's too fucking cold.
Oh yeah, just
like
go right inside.
Yeah.
And go park at roads.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be legendary, but that's not that realistic.
It's not too far off.
It's not too far off, but
I mean, Levi did a lot of legwork. And talking to a lot of different people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, is like you start bringing a lot of people, they all start having big ideas. Like you got to limit that. You got to limit, like you got to be realistic. Like, like $100,000, that's pretty realistic. That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
that's a lot of fucking money. But you get 3 to 5 people to put in $100,000, like that's realistic.
Yeah,
and they're all taking the same risk. Like that's realistic. I think it literally could be done.
Yeah.
It'd be scary. It'd be scary for me. But I know, like, you know, refinancing the house and the property, like I could get $100,000.
You could manage that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to make it fucking work.
Yeah, no, there's no room for error on that.
There's no room for error.
It's bankruptcy is the error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that.
No. So yeah, there is a lot of risk in that. You know, we'd have, knowing how strong the community is around it. There's a lot of skaters, a lot of scooter riders.
Mm-hmm. And that's where I felt like the lumberyard kind of left money on the table. Yeah. Because skaters were begging to come and ride it.
Yeah. I mean, the limiting factor is skate light. Skate light is so expensive. It's $100 for a 4x8 sheet. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're trying to sheet a 2,000 square foot area, that's $20,000 worth of skate light more.
Building it out, you're looking at probably about $80,000.
Yeah. So
it wouldn't be really a jump place. It would be a plaza.
Yeah, it'd be a plaza
with some quarters and banks, ledges, rails, stuff like that. Because you couldn't really get a jump park in there.
Yeah. I think there's a half pipe somewhere in Eagle, an indoor half pipe. God, I wish I could remember where it is. And then I know in the back of the shredder in Boise, there's a half pipe. So there's a couple of indoor things here and there, but I don't think any of those are really accessible to the public.
Yeah.
Unless,
that's another huge thing is the insurance.
Like, yeah, no, it's dangerous.
I saw the lumberyard, go through it. Like they had to freaking update their waiver all the time, and that still didn't cover them 100%.
Yeah,
they struggled with insurance and getting sued and stuff like that constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time it didn't stick. Most of the time they were just easy payouts for insurance, from what I understand. But like insurance doesn't like paying out.
No, they want to make money, and they make money by not paying out.
Yeah.
But
and I think insurance companies right now are going through it. They're not trying to do shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because it's automotive insurance. Like when we first got out here, it was like nobody was even able to get insured. Like people, they were denying people left and right.
Oh, jeez.
And then if you had any bad record like myself, like they really didn't like me.
Mm. Yeah. Probably not paying like it. I mean, I'm 22. I've never been in a car accident. I'm pretty good on auto insurance, but
all my stuff is due to speeding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate enough that I haven't been caught.
Basically, like they haven't got me so bad to where it's reckless and or endangerment speeding. It's just
because
I'm really kissing the edge on that.
Yeah, if you're going less than like 15, 20 over, then hopefully the cop's not too much of an asshole. I don't know. It's a luck thing.
Yeah.
I know people that speed that have never been pulled over. I know people that barely speed that have been pulled over, given tickets. You got to be careful.
The one thing I don't like out here is that the radar laws.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what gets me. Like I I was coming up on a state trooper, and he got me from his rear-facing radar. I didn't know that was a fucking thing.
Is that a thing?
That is a thing.
They got a thing scanning all 360 degrees. They know how fast you're going.
Yep.
Every car on the road.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were going out to Star, Ben and I,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just taking the back roads. I'm doing 60. I think the speed limit was like 45.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't like I was like endangering anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, cop was coming the opposite way. Freaking whipped a bitch, got me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've been pulled over like that, but I've never gotten a ticket.
Yeah, and then I was with I was with Danny.
Mm-hmm.
We were coming back from Boise, and I'm in the far left lane. I'm just going. It was all open, so
Mm-hmm.
I think I was probably doing 100 miles an hour, and there's a couple of cars in front of me, and I was just coming up on them. It wasn't like I was like flying up their ass. They both got over because I was slowing down. I was dropping a gear. And I was coming up to them doing about 80, and they get over, and all of a sudden there's a freaking state trooper right there. And then he gets over, starts slowing down. So I get up next to him, and I start slowing down. We're window to window. We're doing 40 miles an hour on 84. Window to window.
He's just waiting for you to get in front of him so he can turn his lights on. he's got to slow down all the way.
So he rolls his window down, and Danny's sitting in the passenger seat. I roll my window down. I look at him. I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like, hey, I haven't pulled you over yet. Get in front of me. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Should have turned his lights on.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So, but he caught me for doing 80, but that was 80 coming up behind him.
80 on 55?
84, yeah. It's 65.
Oh, is it 65 through there? Oh, okay.
Through the corridor,
yeah. I feel like when you're in the fast lane, going 80 isn't that fast.
Oh, I mean,
it really isn't.
I've been passed before people in the slow lane when I'm doing 80.
No, they'll get around. I'll be going 80 in the fast lane. I'll just be cruising, not really paying attention, and then they'll just zip around me going 95 miles an hour. I'm like, holy shit, really, dude? Like, chill.
Well, I do that.
You do that?
I'm not mad at them for doing 80.
No,
I'm not like going, oh, get out of my way.
Yeah.
I'll just go around you. Like, it's not good to me. My wife says I'm aggressively driving when I do that. Why? Like, I'm not like.
I mean, it is a little aggressive, but is there something wrong with being a little bit aggressive? When I'm on my motorcycle, I'm extremely aggressive because I don't trust anybody.
Jump in front of them and brake check them and
no.
I just go around them.
Just get around them. Like
I'm doing 95. You want to do 80? Fine, do 80, and I'll just go around you and I'll keep going.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's. I think there is a little bit of safety in driving aggressively. When I am overly defensive, I don't pay attention to the road as much. But when I'm aggressively driving, I'm really paying attention to the road, and I'm aware of everything around me.
Oh no, I'm looking and checking out every other driver out there.
But when I'm just going the speed limit, I'm just looking in front of me. I'm not looking at my mirrors. I'm just driving. Mm-hmm. That's when I'm gonna put my blinker on, get over, not check my blind spot.
Yeah.
But if I'm driving faster than everybody else, I'm hyped up listening to some music. I know where everyone is at on the road. I know how fast I'm going. I'm aware of everything because I'm paying attention because I'm hyped to be driving. Same thing on my motorcycle. I'll be going, way too fast and I'll be cutting through traffic a little bit, but I'm aware of everywhere there are cars. And if a car is going to do something stupid, I'm sure shit not going to be in their way because I'm paying attention to it. So I think there is a certain amount of
motorcycle. Like you got to be hyper.
No, you got to be hyper. You got to drive aggressively. It's safer to drive aggressively on a motorcycle. Mm-hmm. If you're a defensive driver, someone's gonna bump you, and that's it. You're dead. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll knock you off your bike going 65. And I try to wear my safety jacket. I wear a helmet with a .4 rating. .4? I think it's .4. Whatever. It's a rating, so it's rated for
like high impact.
High impact.
When it comes to motorcycles, I give them.
Yeah, give them space.
Car length and a half.
I've been tailgating on my motorcycle.
I don't
that
ride
shit
up
pisses
their
me
ass
off.
At all. Like I do not want to hit a motorcyclist, like because they are just out there open. Like,
no, yeah. If you get in an accident, you lose. There's no winning. And then the opposite of that is if you're in a big truck or SUV, you win the argument most of the time, unless it's a semi truck.
Yeah.
So those vehicles are safe because they're bigger, they weigh more. And, then motorcycle, you weigh 500 pounds total, or maybe 800, less than 1,000 pounds total. You're done no seatbelt. You're going flying regardless.
Yep.
A lot of the guys don't wear it. It's not worth the 15 minutes to pad up all the way, wear all the pads. And if it's hot outside, you don't want to be wearing thick
leathers
and you know, and then there's something else I've seen around is there's airbags that once it senses that you've wiped out, these airbags inflate and it supports your spine and your neck. And that helps reduce injury on wipeouts. But
I didn't know that until I moved out here. Helmet law out here is like if you want to.
Yeah, no, I see people all the time not wearing a helmet.
Like that, I'm just like, fuck that.
I've whipped it around my neighborhood with no helmet. I do understand it. It is
like
open and free and awesome, but you get in an accident, you're dead. Like there's no chance of your brain surviving that if you hit it.
Like I said, I was on that e-bike. I went up, took it down low, so I just wanted to kind of see and play around. I definitely would not go any further than just right up the road and back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was doing 52 and I was like, fuck no. Like, the thought of wiping out, I was like, I'm dead. You ragdoll. And then you ragdoll into something and no, your body can't handle that. No.
You know, I see a lot of guys that are big into dirt bikes but don't have any street bikes because they don't trust the idiots on the roads. And I fully understand that. You know, when I'm riding my bike, I trust myself more than I trust other people. Speaking of that, I am trying to sell my Suzuki Savage 650, 1996 Suzuki Savage 650, $2,500. It's got like less than 3,000 miles on it. So if anyone's interested, hit me up, DM me.
Why are you selling it?
Emergency fund.
Okay.
I'm selling it. I'll have an emergency fund. I got a dirt bike. Exactly what I just said. People on the roads are idiots. I trust myself more than them. So if I get hurt, I want it to be my fault. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Any subject you want to talk about before we sign off?
Not really. I kind of have to take a piss.
All right. No,
yeah.
I feel you on that.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
thank you.
Yeah, good talking. I think that was a great conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, thanks for having me out.
Get more people out here as well. Kevin will be back. Shay, you know, they both.
I gotta try and get Luke and Rob in here.
Yeah.
That'd be a good talk.
Yeah.
For
sure.
Yep.
All right. Sweet.